stops. Gives you a different sound. Let's do a piccolo. Okay? All different kinds of sounds. String sounds and so forth. If this was a real pipe organ, it would have pipes. So I brought some examples for you. Here's a pipe out of a pipe organ. And you know, instruments are made out of different materials and they're shaped differently. For instance, a flute would never sound like a tuba. A violin would never sound like a snare drum. A saxophone would never sound like a trombone because they're made out of different materials and shaped differently. Well, the way this thing works is very simple. Air is pushed through the bottom of the pipe. On the mouth of the pipe, the air splits. Whoever plays flute in band, this is kind of similar, where the air splits right in this little hole here. Some goes out, some goes in, and that splitting of the air is what makes the vibration. This is nothing more but a resonator, okay? Now in band, this is the tuner. It moves up and down. If I want to make this go lower in pitch, if I'm too sharp, do I move this up or down? Up to make it go lower in pitch. Exactly. So this little sleeve moves up and down, and that's how you can tune this pipe. I'll give you an example. Now that's only one note. So what I want you to understand is when you play the organ, I need a pipe for each and every single note. So on the tuba sound, there are 61 keys. I need 61 of these pipes. And they get smaller and smaller and smaller to keep going up the scale. All right? What I'm going to do is, please be very, very, very careful with this. All right? One of you teachers will get this back last. I'm going to pass this around so you can look at it. Just be very careful with it, okay? Just pass it around and take a look at it. I brought another organ pipe. It works the same way. There's the mouth. There's the boot where the air goes in. You tune it with this little stopper, but look, it's wood. It's not round, it's square, obviously. It's going to have a different sound. Different sound. This is a flute pipe. But here's what happens, guys. What do you think the main reason is for a tuba being so low in pitch and a flute being so high in pitch? What's the obvious reason? What do you think? You got it. The lower instrument has a lot more tubing. It's bigger. Well, they have to do the same thing with the pipes. In a pipe organ, the pipes range from, I want you to imagine a pipe as big as a pencil, all the way up to 64 feet tall. All right? I'll give you an example. Here's a pipe that would look just like this, only 16 feet tall. That's like a two-story house, and it would be maybe this fat around. And it would produce one note. That's one pipe, one note. Okay? So if this was a real pipe organ, we'd need about 3,000 pipes. This room would be filled with pipes. The way these things work, and I don't want to get too technical, but just to give you an idea. Can everybody see that? What happens is this. There's something called a blower, which is a big air turbine, and it's about the size of this whole instrument, all right? And it's a big turbine, almost like a jet engine, that produces the air. It sends it through a pipe into a reservoir. Now, what's the one thing your band director and your choir director keep telling to use more of?
Air supply.
Air supply, air supply, air supply. So what this thing does, this takes the breath. This is a big wooden box with a wooden lid and an accordion type thing in the middle with springs on it. It pressurizes the air, super pressurizes it, and sends it along a pipe to another big wooden box called a pipe chest. And all the pipes sit on top of it. In here, there's air in there just waiting to get out. And there are little valves underneath all of these pipes. So what happens is, the organist selects which stop he wants. There might be like 20 of these chests with the 20 different sets of pipes. He'll select which sound he wants, and then he'll push the note down. An electrical charge is sent to the brain of the organ. It's called a relay. And then this sends a charge to this thing, and it'll say, all right, I want C to play, so the little valve under that note will open, and the air that's in here would rush into the pipe, and the pipe lays. Try and picture pipes from a pencil to 32 feet to 64 feet, and you need 3,000 of them. This organ would, the whole room in here would be filled with pipes. All right, so obviously we couldn't do this years ago because we didn't have the computer thing to do it with. Anybody see Mission Impossible movie? Let's go back to this thing being in movie theaters and why. You have a movie, and little Jamie is just enthralled with little Tommy and has fallen in love. So you need some schmaltzy kind of music, right? As the stomach turns or something like that. Let's say you have this. Tell me what movie. And if you were here before, don't give it away. Sure. Man made $1 million with 2 notes. And little Sally's on the beach having her ice cream cone, and everything's fine, and everyone's playing on the beach, and bing, and bang, boom, and all of a sudden, and you know, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here it comes. Someone's losing their leg any minute over that music, because the music tipped you off. Let's say we were doing this. What would you apply this to? Use your imagination. What kind of movie? Twilight Zone. Oh, perfect. Here's Twilight Zone real quick. You're talking about 3 notes. 3 notes. So let's say we had a chase scene. All right? Well, an older movie, a chase scene. Let's say Sweet Nell is tied to the railroad tracks. The train's coming. Whatever you want to put to it. What would you put to this? What do you envision with this?
Maybe going to sleep.
All right? So I've just implanted a whole bunch of different thoughts in your mind. You don't even have a screen to look at.